Drop pass goes to Myers. Puck pops free, and it's grabbed by Millimak, and he breaks out of the zone. Puck sitting out in front. Ziegler able to clear. Deflects to Myers. He'll skate across. Gets to the slot, and the shot that is knocked aside by Miller. Solis able to work it off the boards to neutral ice, and coming back after it is Aaron Myers, and he dumps it in. Apologize for the YouTube channel, folks. We did have the feed did drop for a moment, but we got her back up. Looks like we might have audio this time too. Here comes a backhand pass that is broken up by Schubert. Now, Nate Adrian in the corner there. He just lost his stick. And the puck batted down. Now Gavin Rasmussen trying to work. He gets shoved against the boards. .9:22 remaining here in the opening period. 3-0. Wilderness in front. 2 goals by Jake Herter here tonight, and 1 from Kimball Johnson. Here come the Bruins out of their own end. Along the left side, streaking in here is Stahl, and a shot and a save made by Caleb Johnson. On the near side, Herter going after it. He can't reach it before Misak swept it to neutral ice. Adrian throwing it to the opposite corner. Wilderness changing on the fly here with less than 9 minutes left to play in the first period. 3-0, they lead. Here's Travis Schaude. He'll fire this into the Wilderness end. Coming out of his net is Caleb Johnson. Here's a wraparound try as they try to catch him out of position. That was blocked. Here's a drive. Johnson down, and the puck kind of finally cleared over to the far wall. Made a couple of nice saves there as he was positioned right in the top of the blue paint. And it's fired down the length of the ice by Blake Holmes. Bruins set things up from behind their own net. This is Travis Schaude. And very patient with it, with Watkins sitting in front. Pass goes to Larkin. He makes a move to get around Nate Horn. Larkin saw the puck go off his stick as Blake Holmes was positioned. Comes back to Larkin in the near corner. To the rear of the cage, it goes to Anderson. Here's a shot that deflects, and it goes over to the far wall. Almquist with it, stick handling toward the blue line. Gets it to Misak. They said that it was stayed out of the zone, but that puck did leave the Wilderness end, and finally they were able to clear. But the officials were allowing the play to continue despite the offside. Now moving in here is Pietila. Looking to center, that's blocked by Worth, and he's able to steer it over to the near wall. Fired to center, it goes to Colin Rush. He'll dump it in. Puck caroms toward the front of the cage, and it's grabbed by Brendan Sloth. Sloth chips it ahead, it goes to the right point. Now Rush gets a shot away, blocked by Crosby. And reaching in was Tiernan Schaude to strip the puck away. Bruins from their own end. Play it to center. Dumped in by Carson Riddle. Caleb Johnson will leave it for Brendan Sloth. To the far side for Ziegler. Worth tried to find Nate Adrian breaking through center. Couldn't connect. Puck loose in the Bruin end. A couple of big hits there as it goes to the right point. And now skating with it is Schaude. Moving in on goal. Trying to keep him wide there was Ryan Nelson. Now a shot. Follow-up try by Dante Sheriff. Went off the pad of Johnson, who's slow getting up. Puck in the Bruin end. Jaden Shields moving through center. Johnson now back on his feet in goal. And we got a whistle, and with 6:10 remaining, we got some pushing and shoving after the call. After the referee blew the whistle, but nothing escalating too dramatically from that. And this is our mid-period timeout. Give us a chance to give you details on the netminders in this game tonight. For the Wilderness, you've got Caleb Johnson coming in with a 7-3-1 record, 2.41 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. Stopped 30 of 32 in that win on Wednesday night. North Dakota Fighting Hawk commit. And on the other end, Brett Miller for the Austin Bruins, a 6-2-1 record. 2.20 goals against average and a .927 save percentage. And he stopped 32 of 35 in that loss on Wednesday. There was a penalty as a result of that little skirmish. As the Wilderness work on the power play, here's a shot from Nelson that is deflected over the cage. In the box is Kevin Gabor. And we get a shot away, continue to battle after the rebound. It goes off the side of the net, clear to the left point. Nelson able to hold the zone. Bouncing puck sails toward the front of the cage, glove down, and cleared the length of the ice by Peter Jacobs. Quick work on the transition there was Caleb Johnson. Stretch pass goes to Worth, and he'll flip it toward the corner in the Bruin zone. And they strip it free from the wall. Here's Worth over to Horn, tried to feed him right on the doorstep. And the pass couldn't connect. Here is Nelson. Holmes quickly redirects a pass over to Worth. Horn up to Nelson, top of the point. Here is Holmes. A shot deflects over to Worth, and he scores. Garrett Worth gets the rebound, and the Wilderness get a power play goal. They now lead 4-0. Worth with a goal now in 3 consecutive games, and scoring that one in similar position as to when he scored the game-winning goal on Wednesday night. Assist on the goal to Aaron Myers and Blake Holmes. And the third goal of the season for Garrett Worth. And the Wilderness now in command of this game, 4-0, and we still have 4 minutes. Here's a shot from Almquist that deflects over the net. So 4 minutes and 42 seconds to play here in the first period. We are going to hear from Garrett Worth during the first intermission. Interview recorded before the game. Schubert left side, Shields down low, and Sheriff ended up stepping on the puck and lost his footing, and the Wilderness are able to come back. Gavin Rasmussen had it poked away. And now on his own end, you got Larkin with Sheriff. Sheriff can't get around Hanzawa. Hanzawa and Crosby in on the forecheck. Now Almquist tries to feed it for Pietila. They run into trouble. Hanzawa comes up with it in the Bruin end, gets a shot away that went off a leg. And Brett Miller able to get on top of it, and he hangs on. Oh, Tyler Shea is taking over. Okay. New goaltender in for the Bruins as Tyler Shea is in place of Brett Miller. So a rough start for Miller, and the Wilderness able to force the Bruins to make a change. Shea from Stevenson Ranch, California. Here is Ziegler. Backpedaling. Plays it ahead to Hanzawa. The Wilderness are whistled on and offside. 3:48 left in period 1. Shea with a 2-4-1 record on the season, a 2.91 goals against average, and a .921 save percentage. And we're going to see a face-off just outside of the Wilderness zone. And quickly they send it into the Wilderness end. It's played by Ziegler over to the far wall. Worth takes a hit from Pietila. able to shuffle it ahead, gets to the point, but not out. On the left side, it's Pietola. Gets a shot away. That deflects and is gloved down before it's scooped up by Ziegler. Along the far side, batted down by Pietola. Kicks free, and it goes to Lewis Crosby. Crosby will bang it off the boards. Reaching for it there was Hanzawa, but coming up with it in his own end. And sending it the other way was Stahl, right to Zach Ziegler. Over to Brendan Sloth. And he's able to dump it in. This caroms toward the rear of the Bruin net. Stahl comes up with it on the near side. Ahead to Riddle. Fires one toward the Wilderness net. Sails over the cage, and it's picked up by Stoyanov. Right behind him was Sheriff. Now it's coughed up. Tiernan Chowdy gets a shot away off the side of the net. Sheriff tried to wrap around, and that was broken up. Sheriff again with it to the point for Travis Chowdy. His shot was blocked, and the Wilderness are able to break out. Brady Hunter moving in. He's got Coakley with him along with Mitch Allard. Puck came free behind the net. Bruins come up with it. Steering it to center was Misak. He's able to get it to Dante Sheriff. He weaves through traffic. Gets around Stoyanov. Then he got hauled down. Loose puck out in front. Batted to the right of the cage, and it's picked up by Nate Horn. Out there with Hunter. Wilderness trying to complete a line change. Horn was stripped of the puck just as he gained the Austin end. Almquist couldn't get past the Wilderness blue line, and there's Tyler Watkins able to play it deep in the Bruin end. Minute 45 remaining in the first period. Wilderness leading 4-0. On the right side, Larkin moving in on goal. His shot ended up going wide. Here is Millamock. Connor Millamock out in front. Redirected by Larkin, and right there was Johnson able to cover up and make the save. And play is whistled down with 1:29 left in the first period. And we got a timeout on the ice here. We got a trainer that is looking at Dante Sheriff. He's going to go to the Bruin locker room. So we hope the best for Dante Sheriff. He is very valuable to this Bruin lineup, coming in with a share of the team lead in points with 20. And picking up 2 goals in that loss on Wednesday night. And we've got a conference with the officials in front of the scorers table. And trying to work out what is going on here. As mentioned, Tyler Shea has taken over in goal for the Bruins. And it's been a rough month or so for Shea. He's not won since October 4th. Has lost his last 4 decisions. And Shea is a 01 birth year. Again, coming from California. And then you look at what the Wilderness have been able to do this season against the Bruins. This is the 6th meeting of the year between these two teams. The Wilderness have won 4 of the previous 5 meetings. Caleb Johnson playing a big part in 3 of those wins. He's got a 3-0 record against Austin and a 1.62 goals against average and a 947 save percentage against this team. So they have completed their conference in front of the officials' box. There were no penalties assessed. So I'm a bit puzzled as to what the delay was for there. Face off to the left of Johnson. As we're down to the final 85 seconds of the first period. This is Jaden Shields moving in on the left side. A shot, big save by Johnson. Loose puck out in front, and they score! Connor Millimak able to collect a rebound out in front, and the Bruins are on the board. It's 4-1. Goal comes with 1:18 left. Millimak from Shields. And off the faceoff, puck comes back in the Wilderness zone. Worked off the boards by Nelson. Loose at center, and Riddle trying to find a path. And it's loose out in front, picked up by Stoyanov. Cleared toward the Bruin blue line. Batted away by Tiernan Shouty. It's loose and knocked over to the near side by Worth, and he got knocked off the puck. Looks like he took a stick to the midsection as he heads to the bench and looks to be in some pain. Puck sent deep in the Wilderness zone. And the Wilderness look to regroup. Here is Nelson off the glass, and it's out at center. We get a whistle as the puck is touched by Hugh Quinn. And play whistle down with 26 seconds left in the first period. Third goal of the season for... Actually, check that. Millimak was the one that scored. That's his first of the season. There's a shot, and it's right on the goal line, and it did not get in. Looked like it got past Johnson on a shot off the faceoff, and he was looking behind him, and they were able to somehow keep it from getting in the net. Wow, a huge chance there for Austin. Almost made it a 2-goal game. Here's another centering attempt off the side of the net. Pietila with a drive, and that went wide. Out in front, here's Almquist with a shot just as the buzzer sounds, and that ends period one. But a terrific period for the Wilderness. Despite some late pressure there by the Bruins, the Wilderness have a 4-1 lead after one. 2 goals that period from Jake Herter, one from Kimball Johnson, and another from Garrett Worth. And we're going to hear from Garrett Worth in a moment as we have our first intermission for you here. We'll be back in a moment. This is Wilderness Hockey on Hockey TV and Cat 7.
Looks like Bruiser has found a contestant. Here's how it works. You're going to get 3 tries. You must shoot from where you sit. If it doesn't have to stay in the bucket. It just has to go in the bucket. That's a little bit off. If it goes in the bucket, you're going to win $100. Cold hard tag tonight. Last chance from this one. Oh! All right, Bruiser, pick us out someone who's ready to be the next point for next fan of the game.
Okay, we're back at Riverside Arena in Austin, where the Minnesota Wilderness came out flying here tonight. Just 51 seconds in, they opened the scoring from Kimball Johnson, and were able to add to that lead. We saw a pair of goals from Jake Herter that came just seconds apart. First one came at the tail end of a power play. And then we saw Garrett Worth pick up a power play goal of his own. Second straight game that Worth has scored a power play goal. Third straight game overall that he's been able to put the puck in the net. And the Wilderness had a 4-0 lead. Bruins got one back toward the latter stages of the period. It was a goal scored by Connor Millimak to make it 4-1 after one period of play. And had a chance to talk to Garrett Worth before the game, and it's been quite a road for Garrett since he rejoined the Wilderness. He was with the team back in the 2017-18 season after his high school career came to an end with Duluth East, and ended up picking up 6 goals in 10 games with the Wilderness that season. That was the most that he had with any team that he's been with since. He was with 3 last season in the British Columbia Junior Hockey League. He was with Vernon, Prince George, and also West Kelowna. And then started the season with the Des Moines Buccaneers in the USHL. So it's been a winding road for Garrett Worth. He does have a commitment to Arizona State and is looking to refine his game and make sure he's ready to go once his Division I career starts next season. And looking to make sure that he's the player that they were expecting from him when they were able to get him set up on that commitment. And here is the interview that recorded earlier with Wilderness forward Garrett Worth. Okay, Garrett, in 3, 2, 1. Well, Garrett, first of all, let's take us through that game-winning goal and how things went as far as you were able to get in position for that goal.
Yeah, I mean, we were struggling on the power play for quite a while there, so I think to get that one was huge. And, I just saw Nelly with the puck, and I had a lot of room over on the other side, and he made a great pass, and I was able to bury it. So
yeah, nice shot, and and so you mentioned that the pressure, I guess, was on to try to do something with that power play.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were obviously struggling there. We couldn't get a goal for a while. But just to get that one, I think it was huge for our confidence and to get rolling on the power play. So,
how about your confidence over the last couple of games, getting a couple of nice goals?
Yeah, it's definitely nice to come back here and get a lot of playing time and just kind of get closer with the guys. So I think my confidence is pretty high right now, which is a huge part of my game. So,
yeah, how overall does it feel to be back? Just to be able to be in this league and playing with this team?
Yeah, it honestly feels pretty weird to be back home during the winter time. And last year I spent the whole year away, so to be back in the winter, it's nice, and it's nice to see some of the old guys on the team that I grew up playing against and with. So it's pretty nice to be back.
Yeah, your second full season in junior hockey. How do you feel your game developing there?
Yeah, I feel like it's huge. I mean, junior hockey is all about development, right? So I feel like every single day, if you take it seriously and work hard, you're going to develop more and more. So I think this year I come into it with a lot more confidence.
Talk about last season in the BC. I imagine it had to be tough playing in 3 different organizations over that period of time.
Yeah, it was definitely an eye opener for sure. I mean, it felt like I was on a flight every other month in the BC. So it was definitely an eye opener, like I said. So I don't know. It was cool, but it's nice to be back in the States playing again. So
what's that competition like up there?
It's pretty good. I mean, it's just a really offensive league. I mean, there's not a lot of systems or anything like that. So it's really offensive, and I'd say it's pretty high skill level too.
Right, and then you go from that to Des Moines, and the transition there, obviously still high level there. What was that like in Des Moines?
Yeah, in Des Moines, I actually loved it. I mean, the coaches were really good to me, and I had a lot of good friendships with the guys there. So it's tough to leave there, but just wasn't playing enough. So it's good to be back here.
Right. You last game you got to be paired with Shakara, and it looked like you guys had a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. I mean, obviously still building chemistry with the guys on and off the ice. Just getting here like a couple weeks ago, but I think the more we play together, it's really going to click because he sees the ice very well, and you can find me and stuff like that. So
Right. Yeah, it seems to be, I imagine the more you play with different guys, the more your game can develop.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just kind of going through practices and stuff like that, and just kind of seeing what everyone brings to the table, and just kind of like I said, getting to learn the guys. I mean, I've only been here for 2 weeks, so just starting to play with them off the ice and talk to them, or play with them on the ice, talk to them off the ice. I mean, it's just all about building chemistry right now.
You did have some pretty good chemistry. I noticed with Bram Shearer. Now that he's out with an injury, you get Lewis Crosby in his place. But you guys seem to work well together too in the little bit of time that you had together there.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Lewis the first game too that I was here, and I think we've just been building chemistry, like you said, as we've gone. So yeah, it sucks that Bram went out with that injury, but I think that just playing with Lewis will continue our chemistry. So.
Sure. Last couple days, a little bit of snow. Does this make you yearn to get down to Arizona and start your college career?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, it's cold here and snowy, so I'm definitely excited to get down to that warm weather next year.
Talk about what has there been any communication with them as far as what they want to see from you for this season?
Just pretty much play my game and treat every day as another day to get better and develop and just keep working hard. So.
Okay, very good. I imagine the more this time has gone on since your commitment, that anticipation continues to build as far as when you can get down there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always easy to look ahead, but you just got to live in the moment and worry about where you're at the time. So just every day I try to take it as serious as I can and work hard every day. So.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us here. Good luck here tonight and the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you, Marty.
Garrett Worth with his thoughts on what he's experienced so far here this season with the Wilderness, not really including what we saw in this first period as he was able to add to his totals with one goal as the Wilderness lead 4-1 after one period here in Austin. We're going to take a timeout, be back in a moment with out-of-town scores. This is Wilderness Hockey on Hockey TV. All right, we're getting close to the second period here in Austin. They are giving away one massive television here, a 4K 55-inch deal through a raffle. I may have to put some money into that. I don't know how much room there will be on the bus for it, but would not be bad money spent to put an effort to try to bring that thing home. So imagine watching Wilderness games on that thing. Okay, here we go. We're looking at some scores from around the league. And we'll begin with what we've got going on out east in Maryland. It's a 2-2 tie between the Black Bears and the New Jersey Titans. They're just beginning the third period. Also in the third period, it's Jamestown leading Johnstown 3-1. Looking at scores down south, you've got New Mexico with a 1-0 lead over Corpus Christi. Another South Division score, you've got Amarillo with a 1-0 lead over first place Lone Star. That game's still in the first period. Also Topeka 2-1 leading Odessa, and they've just finished the first period in West Texas. And a couple of games involving Central Division opponents. Aberdeen Wings are playing host to Bismarck tonight, and it's right now Aberdeen with a 1-0 lead over the Bobcats. And the Mina Minotauros picked up a win the other night over the Bobcats in their Thanksgiving Eve game. It was a 6-3 victory, but Toros not with a good start tonight against St. Cloud. The Blizzard with a 2-0 lead. That game's still in the first period. Later on tonight in Alaska, you've got Kenai River playing host to the Minnesota Magicians and the Fairbanks Ice Dogs entertaining the Janesville Jets. Last night it was Fairbanks with a 9-2 shellacking over the Jets. Here we got a 4-1 lead for the Wilderness after one period. And we'll see what the Bruins can do here in the second. They did outshoot the Wilderness in that first period, 13-7. Goal scoring went like this. Kimball Johnson is third of the year at the 52nd mark from Aaron Myers and Blake Holmes. Jake Herder scoring at the 5:55 mark from Zach Ziegler and Shakara Hanzawa. And then it was just 24 seconds later when Herder scored again from Ziegler. And then Garrett Wirth scored on the power play from Aaron Myers and Blake Holmes. And the Bruins got a goal with 1:17 left in the period from Connor Millimock, assisted by Jaden Shields. Here come the Wilderness as we're underway in the second period. The shot gets on goal. Shea able to direct that aside as he got the paddle square on the ice. Here is Johnson to Holmes. He sends one off the end wall. Trying to chop it toward the net was Jake Herder. Adrian can't kick the puck free, and from behind the net, Almquist able to move it along the wall. He gets it to Larkin, trying to split the defense, moving in on goal, and they score! Caleb Johnson was laying flat on the ice, trying to poke the puck free from Almquist. Almquist just skated around him and found a wide open net. And the Bruins are now only down by 2, 4-2, Wilderness in front, and that goal coming just 49 seconds into the second period. And the Bruins are right back in this game. An unassisted goal from, or rather Larkin with that goal. An unassisted goal for Hugh Larkin. And it's now 4-2. Larkin, goal number 10. Here come the Bruins again. Dante Sheriff has rejoined his teammates. He did leave late in the first period to get checked out by the trainer. Might have been just an equipment issue, and here he is on the ice, the puck in the Wilderness zone. Wilderness going from left to right across your computer screen. Here's a shot from Pietala that goes behind the net. So the Wilderness got to wake up here after dominating the first 10 minutes of this hockey game. Bruins with some new life now as it's 4-2. We've got some activity, some frustrations mounting here. Dane Stoyanov letting his voice be heard, and now Dante Sheriff is going to the penalty box. So second power play of the night for the Wilderness. Community Printing power play will go to work. A slashing minor on Sheriff will put the Wilderness on the power play. Their second power play of the night. Make that their third of the night. There was that too many men on the ice call that was called at the end of the first period that led to the Wilderness power play goal. So they are 1 for 2 with the man advantage. Puck in the Wilderness zone, and the Bruins are able to work it behind the net. Here is Nelson back to Nate Horn. Wilderness breakout. This is Horn with Nelson. Wilderness captain off the boards to Blake Holmes. Shuffles it toward the corner, works it along the boards. Worth sweeps it toward the rear of the cage. It goes to Holmes in the corner. To the left point, Myers up top to Nelson. Back to Aaron Myers. He moves in on goal. Myers gets a shot away right on. The save made by Shea, and the Bruins are able to clear the zone. Riddle dumping at the length of the ice, a minute remaining in the Wilderness power play. Caleb Johnson draws a man over towards his side of the ice and is able to get a pass to Holmes. He feeds it to Jake Herter to the left side to Nate Horn. He's stripped of the puck, and here come the Bruins on a shorthanded break. Misak puts on the brakes in the circle, and a shot and a diving block by Kimball Johnson. Looks like they did get the shot away that did get over Johnson, and Caleb Johnson able to make the save. Looks like it stayed within the didn't exit the actual playing surface. Wilderness with some trouble getting the puck out of their own end. We got less than 30 seconds remaining in the power play. Puck batted to the near side to Tyler Watkins. He skates out. Drops it for Kimball Johnson. Stops short of the Bruin blue line. Tries to dump it in. That's blocked and quickly cleared. And Caleb Johnson will leave it for Kimball Johnson. Final seconds of this power play, which has been, a paltry effort at best. Here comes Stahl moving in for the Bruins. Tries to get around Ziegler. A shot right on, the save by Caleb Johnson, and he's able to hang on to the puck. And play whistle down with the power play now expired, and 3 minutes and 40 seconds expired here in the second period. Wilderness up 4-2. Hugh Quinn will take this face-off, not to be confused with Quinn Hughes, who was a first-round draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks, now playing in the NHL. Here come the Wilderness. Coakley slips it into the Bruin end. Travis Schaude banks it off the boards. That was held up. Trying to work it free is Nate Adrian. And it's picked up by Quinn and forced out of the zone by Shields. He got spun around, lost his stick. Bruin fans want a penalty. Now Sloth can't get around Zach Anderson as they drag the puck through center. Shouty able to move it for Stahl. Before that was batted away by Adrian. He forces it into the Bruin end. Coming out of his net is Shea, moving it to the near side. Bouncing puck gets to the point. Ryan Nelson able to hold the zone. And then it slips out to center ice. Puck gobbled up at the blue line. Now it's taken by Fox. He feeds it to Ziegler. Ahead to Allard, who will dump it in. That caroms to Stahl. He'll sweep it out of the zone. Zach Ziegler with it in his own end. White City, Saskatchewan native. Sends it off the boards, out to center. Scooped up. And moving in here is Brady Hunter, and a shot and a save made. You got Hunter out there that has been snake bit since he picked up 5 points in the NAHL showcase. Here comes Almquist for the Bruins, moving in on the left side. Stoyanov in on the defense. A centering attempt comes back to the blue line, out to center. Cullen Rush with it. Over to Pietila. He'll dump it in. It goes behind the Wilderness net. And Johnson leaves it for Ryan Nelson. You got Riddle and Milomak in on the forecheck. Puck goes to Stoyanov. And the puck deflected into the Bruin zone. Going after it is Rush. He'll play it off the wall. Comes back to Nelson. Quickly the other way. Out of his cage is Shea. Moves it along the boards where it's taken by Horn. He'll dump it in. Going after it on the near side. Watkins can't reach it in time. Milomak trying to work it free from the end wall where it's picked up by Pietila. He'll play it behind his own net. This is Cullen Rush. Rush through center. Sauce pass goes into the Wilderness zone. That's held up there by Johnson. Kimball Johnson tried to move it along the boards. Here he skies it to center. Quickly dumped in by Aaron Myers. Rush will take it off the end boards. Over to the near side. Clearing attempt by Jacobs, blocked by Myers. Back to the right point. Worth able to dump it in. Behind his own net, Rush over to the far wall. Chipped out toward the blue line. Myers can't get past Hugh Larkin, and then Larkin dumps Myers down. Here's Pietila able to dump it into the Wilderness end. Played along the far wall by Caleb Johnson. He finds Aaron Myers, and he'll send it deep in the Austin end. A little bit of line shuffling here. We got Myers with Shikara Henzawa and Garrett Worth. Now Crosby out on the ice with Jake Herter and Henzawa. From behind his own net, Misak. With Herter draping him, able to get the pass back for Stahl, who will move it down the length of the ice. It goes behind the Wilderness net, and it's picked up by Stoyanov. Rather, that's Sloth. He's able to clear to center. Gavin Rasmussen from there banks it off the wall into the Bruin end. Schubert drops a pass for Misak, who will set up from behind his own net. Misak finds Stahl. And Stahl tried to move it to Quinn, and that was broken up at the Wilderness blue line by Sloth. Here's Tiernan Shouty in his own zone. Pass too far for Schubert. This is going to be an icing. Icing call coming with 7:51 expired in the second period. And the Wilderness up by a score of 4-2, despite 2 consecutive goals by the Bruins to get themselves back in this hockey game. Here we got Tyler Watkins going to take this faceoff. Watkins coming into this game with a 9-game point streak, and if he picks up 1 point tonight, that'll set a new Wilderness record. Watkins, Aaron Myers, and Tyler Klein currently tied for the longest point streaks in Wilderness history. Aaron Miller and Klein picking up those streaks in the 2014-15 season. So it's been a while since we've seen anybody with a streak of this measure for the Wilderness. Clearing attempt blocked by Horn. Out in front for Myers. Gets around the defense. Back to Horn, far side. There's a shot by Ryan Nelson. That's blocked by Larkin. And he's able to find Almquist. Almquist slips into the zone. Throws it toward the net. There it's picked up by Myers. He'll work it off the wall. Gets to the blue line. Travis Shouty gets it to Stoyanov. Then he's stripped of the puck. Now Larkin over to Almquist in the far circle. Centering attempt, and it's redirected out of play. Connor Milomak getting that pass right on the doorstep. And he sends that one into the safety netting. That stops play with 8:37 expired here in the second period. And Minnesota leading by a score of 4-2 in the last meeting of the season here at Riverside Arena between these two teams. Battle for the loose puck in the corner. Almquist over to Larkin. He redirects it to the point. Shields shot ends up along the near wall. Crosby trying to work it free from the boards. There is Garrett Worth. Sends it out of the zone. Hustles after the loose puck in the Bruin end. Falling down, trying to sweep a pass out in front. Makes its way to the corner, and now skating out with it is Ben Almquist. He'll dump it in. Coming out of his cage is Caleb Johnson. Gets it to Blake Holmes. Backhanded along the wall by Kimball Johnson. And here's Gavin Rasmussen. Back toward the Bruin blue line. Sent the other way by Shields. He finds Sheriff. Sheriff with a wrist shot blocked by Holmes. On the near wall, sweeping it. And out of the zone by Rasmussen. Bouncing puck goes wide of the Bruin net, and Rush picks it up in the corner. Over to Jacobs, and then he got leveled to the ice by Gavin Rasmussen. Now behind his own net, Ziegler. Outlet pass goes to Herter. Herter's got the hot hand as of late for the Wilderness. Here's a shot that sails over the net, and it goes out of play. Herter with 2 goals in this game, and he got a goal on Wednesday. And that shot ends up making its way into the safety netting, and there we're going to see a faceoff that will make its way out of the Bruin end. And we're down to 10:04 left here in the second period, and we've got our media timeout underway here as we've reached the midway point of this contest, pretty much 4 seconds away from being at the exact middle point. So some quick words of advice from both of the coaching staffs. The coaches in this hockey game, you've got John Valancourt with Brendan Phelps for the Wilderness. And the Bruin coaching staff led by head coach Steve Howard, now in his 3rd season leading the Austin Bruins. And his assistant coaches are Kenny Orlando and Keegan Asmundson. They're going to drop the puck just outside of the Bruin end. 10:04 left to play here in the second period. Wilderness up by a score of 4-2. Myers and Almquist to take the face-off. Sloth tries to backhand it into the zone. That was blocked. Here comes Millimak skating in on the right side. Stick handling along the wall. Looks to center. That was held up. And it bounces toward the front of the net. Is gloved by Johnson, and he hangs on. With 9:51 left to play here in the second period. Caleb Johnson, native of Grand Forks, going to North Dakota for his Division I hockey. Picked up that commitment last season and was quite happy with the result of North Dakota's game last night at Mariucci Arena when they took on the Minnesota Golden Gophers. 9-3, the Fighting Hawks with the win. Here's a shot by Larkin, blocked in front. Horn coming up with it, gets it to Aaron Myers. Meanwhile, Aaron Myers going to Bemidji State. Puck loose along the wall as they battle for the loose puck. It goes to Pietila. Gets to the right point. Stoyanov throws one toward the net, blocked in front. Myers can't reach the loose puck, and now Pietila gains control, and he'll skate out of the zone. To the right side, he goes to Millimak, and return pass knocked away. Here comes Tyler Watkins moving in, and the puck slipped off his stick just as he gained the zone. Pietila at neutral ice. He'll dump it in for the Bruins. Millimak in the corner. Skates away from Stoyanov. Centering pass goes to Stahl, and a shot went wide. Bangs off the boards, gets to the right point. Schubert sends one wide of the net. Now Hugh Quinn with a drive that bounces through the slot to the far side. Stoyanov gets slammed against the wall by Stahl. A couple of giants out there along the boards. Stahl fell to the ice, and he's going to the bench, gripping his arm, his left arm, and he looks to be in pain. Now Schubert. Puck redirected by Quinn. This will go wide of the Wilderness net. worked off the boards and grabbed by Stoyanov. Pass went behind Garrett Worth, and it's picked off by Zubert. From behind his own net, here's Stoyanov. Tries to get it to Hanzawa. Left side for Crosby, and now Worth will bank it off the boards. Crosby with it. Try to get it to Worth in the near corner. That was blocked by Quinn. Now Misak got dragged down, and we got a penalty coming against the Wilderness as the Bruins break into the Wilderness zone. Drop pass Gabor over to Misak, and Shields tried to work it out in front, went right through the blue paint to the near side. Touching the puck behind his own net here is Blake Holmes, and that stops play with 7:53 left in the second period. And the Bruins are going to go on their first power play of the night. Hooking Minor sends Lewis Crosby to the box. Time of the penalty at 12:07, so we've got 7:53 left, and a huge moment here for the Bruins to get a little closer. Misak able to feed it for Shields. His shot knocked aside by Caleb Johnson. Now Riddle along the near wall for Misak. Skates to the corner. Centering attempt, Riddle on a shot, and a save made by Johnson. Got the pad down like a pinball machine. Here's Shields over to Misak. Down low. There's a drive by Almquist, and that ends up to the corner. Far side Shields. Back to Almquist along the wall. Shields at the blue line. Misak. Out in front is Larkin. It goes to Shields. Far side for Almquist. Almquist gets to the high slot, and the shot and the save made by Johnson, and he hangs on. That time Wilderness relying heavily on who is supposed to be your best penalty killer, and that is the goaltender. And Johnson making a couple of saves there, and this time he hangs on, forces a face-off with 1:14 remaining in the Bruin power play. Bruins 12 for 75 on the season with the man advantage. And off of this face-off, the Wilderness are able to clear the zone and send it the length of the ice. Bruins break out of their own end. This is Pietala. Bruins were 1 for 3 the other night with the man advantage. Here comes Quinn along the left side. Seems to be okay as he had to leave the ice. Or as the puck is played down the ice. Or was that? You know what? I got them mixed. I'm getting them all mixed up here. I'm not sure if it was Quinn or Stahl now that was hurt a few minutes ago for the Bruins. Here comes Pietala skating through center. Gains the Wilderness zone. Tries to shuffle the puck to the far side. Broken up. They are able to bang it out in front. And they try to get their sticks on it. It finally comes free for Jake Herter, and he clears. 20 seconds remaining in the Bruin power play. This is the Coors Light penalty kill at work for the Wilderness. Now Coakley able to force a turnover. He tried to get it to Watkins out in front, but that was picked off by Shouty. Tiernan Shouty was right out in front there, able to knock it away. Again, Bruins in the Wilderness end. Penalty is over. Crosby rejoins the play. Here we got a centering pass for Riddle. He'll get it to the point to Shields. Left side, Misak. Moving in on goal. A shot right on. The save by Johnson. We got traffic out in front. Reaching in there is Johnson, Kimball Johnson trying to keep, trying to protect some of his teammates. You got Riddle with some delivering a shove against Blake Holmes. Carson Riddle, who is a scrappy young player from Holly, Michigan, 5'8". And going up against the 6'2" Blake Holmes. 5:39 left in the second. 4-2 Wilderness in front. This is Johnson. He finds Hanzawa. Pass comes to Crosby. Moving in. And Misha came in aggressively on the defense. Kept Crosby from really getting a good shot away. And he also cut off the passing lane. Right back the other way is Almquist. Stops in the corner. Darts back along the wall. Gets it to the point. Riddle, a shot. That deflected wide. Johnson was waiting for that one to make its way to his glove, and it took a bounce, made its way off the wall. Here comes Hanzawa moving in 1-on-2. Gains the zone, puts on the brakes. It goes to Kimball Johnson. Tried to feed it to Worth in the doorstep, and Misak got in front of the pass. Two terrific plays by Misak on this shift. Here comes Almquist. Drop pass goes to Tiernan Shouty in the Wilderness zone. Holmes able to get it in the corner, banks it off the wall. Misak sends it behind the net. Almquist got spun around, tries to get a centering pass. It hopped toward Caleb Johnson, and he's able to hang on. That will force another draw in the Wilderness zone. 4:39 left in the second period. It was Oscar Stahl that did get hurt, and he's making his way back to the Austin locker room, accompanied by the team trainer. So we hope he turns out okay. He had just returned from injury recently. And they've got another timeout being called here. At least that's the way it looks right now on the benches. Now there are the officials are saying, no. The buzzer did sound and made it sound as if there was going to be another media timeout here. They already had one. That was with 10:05 left here in the second. So the faceoff will come to Caleb Johnson's left. Yeah, Oscar Stahl had missed a good portion of the first part of the season and just came back a week ago. Here's a shot, makes its way on goal. And Caleb Johnson able to hang on again. 4:37 left here in the second. Stahl in his third year of junior hockey. Last year, split time with the Bruins and their Rochester affiliate in the NA3HL, the Rochester Grizzlies. Aaron Myers gets it to the point. That's blocked by Jacobs. He'll send it behind the net. Now Caleb Johnson back to Ryan Nelson. Over to Ziegler. Stretch pass intended for Watkins. Goes after it behind the net. Watkins looked like he might have been offside, but they called him on. It goes to Myers. He got his stick tied up. Goes to Watkins. Throws one right through the crease. It goes to the far wall. This is Ziegler. To the corner to Aaron Myers. Myers trying to shake off Carson Riddle. Gets it to Nelson, and a shot in the glove. Saved by Shea. Shea with the left knee down on the ice, able to move toward his left to make that catch, and he hangs on with 3:56 left here in the second. A little bit of pressure there for the Wilderness. Let's see if they can sustain some of that. Faceoffs were a big part of the win in the game on Wednesday night for Minnesota. Garrett Worth is going to take this draw. Again, the Arizona State commit. Off the faceoff, it goes toward the corner, and this is Misak off the far wall. Puck goes to Larkin, over to Almquist, to the right side from Milamach, goes back to Larkin, able to send it across the line. It goes to Nelson for the Wilderness as they try to regroup. Here's Ziegler to center. Puck batted down by Crosby. Stretch pass for Worth, a little too far. He'll go after it in the corner. They'll call this icing. Garrett Worth protesting that call, but they're going to send it back to a face-off to the left of Caleb Johnson. 3:34 left in period two. The Wilderness up by a score of 4-2. It's amazing how things worked. The Wilderness had trouble getting more than 3 goals. Here's a off the face-off when Larkin's shot goes wide. We'll finish that thought in a moment as Shikara Hanzawa skates in on the left side. He's got Crosby with him as they move in 2-on-2. Now Garrett Worth can't get around Almquist. Bruin captain feeds it ahead for Larkin. Cross ice, he goes, shields a drive, and that getting just enough of it was Caleb Johnson. Puck loose out in front. Larkin couldn't get a stick on it, goes to Shields on the far side. He tries to throw one toward the net, goes up and out of play. 3:01 left here in the second. Wilderness hanging on to a 2-goal lead over the Austin Bruins. But as I was saying, Wilderness were for over a month were not able to score more than 3 goals in a game, and finally Wednesday night we're able to pick up 4 in that win against the Bruins, one of them an empty net goal. And here they get 4 in the first period. And they always say a race to 3. Well, you get 4, you think that should be enough, but you know what? 60 minutes of hockey, plenty of time for teams to come back as we see a puck go out of play in the Bruin end. As there was a race for the puck along the extended goal line and it ended up going out of play. They're going to bring this face-off outside the Austin zone. 2:49 left here in the second period. It'll be Nate Adrian to take this face-off. Brady Hunter to his right and Alec Coakley to the left. And it goes back to Kimball Johnson. He'll fire this one deep in the Bruin end. Mishak avoids a hit from Coakley. To the right, he gets the puck to Gabor. Kevin Gabor toward the Wilderness blue line, held up by Blake Holmes. Puck deflects off of Tillman. He'll go after it in his own zone. Over to Pietila from behind his own net. Jed Pietila with the Brady Hunter in on the forecheck. Here we got a stick that went flying. As Mishak gets around him and moves in on goal, and the shot right on. The save by Johnson. And we got pushing and shoving here in the corner in the Bruin zone. There must have been a stick that had been left on the ice from a previous whistle because they brought that stick. Okay, now it's Brady Hunter that's going after a stick now. I thought he had a stick as he was going up the ice, but apparently not. So a face-off coming to the right of Johnson with 2:14 left here in the second period. 4-2, Wilderness in front. Off the draw, puck deflects to the near wall. And thrown out of the zone by Ryan Nelson. This is going to be an icing call. 2:05 left in the second. Wilderness getting their 4 goals. In the first 10 minutes of the first period. 2 from Jake Herter, 1 from Kimball Johnson, and another from Garrett Worth. Here come the Wilderness out of their own end. This one gets past Nate Horn. And right there is Jaden Shields able to dump it right into the Wilderness zone. Now Jacobs centering pass for Tiernan Shouty, and that ended up over the net. Puck batted to Ryan Nelson. We got a player down for the Bruins. That's Peter Jacobs. Now Stoyanov has dropped the gloves, and he's throwing haymakers at Carson Riddle. And landed a few punches, and then the two of them fell to the ice. And we got the crowd on its feet now cheering on little Carson Riddle as he and Dane Stoyanov tangle. Both are being directed toward their locker rooms. 1:36 left here in the second. Carson Riddle has been a thorn in the side throughout the game. Very aggressive in his play away from the puck, going after the moving in on the forecheck, and has caused a lot of frustration tonight, and there it erupts into a battle with Dane Stoyanov. And you may notice on we've got the captains outside the officials' crease here, waiting for details on what erupted there. I imagine we're just going to see 5-minute majors and 10-minute misconducts, I'm going to guess, for those two. Meanwhile, we do have a letter, a new letter on the front of the jersey for Tyler Watkins. Watkins named an alternate captain as that is new. Joining the leadership for the Wilderness along with Ryan Nelson and Nate Horn and Alec Coakley. When those letters were first awarded, Nick Ports was one of them that had a letter, and he ended up being called up to the USHL, and that was the deal that ended up sending Shikara Henzawa to the Wilderness. Here we're down to 1.5 minutes left to play in the second period. 5-minute majors and a 10-minute misconduct for both Dane Stoyanov and Carson Riddle. And those coming at the 18:28 marks of the second period. This is Milamach. Centering pass for Almquist, and he scores! From behind the net, Milamach found Almquist all alone in front. He fanned on the first shot, and on the second opportunity, slipped it through the legs of Caleb Johnson, and it's now 4-3. So the Wilderness lead, which had been very safe, it seemed, for a while at 4-0, is now down to 1. And we still got a minute left to play here in the second. This is Larkin, far side, a shot, and a save made by Johnson. Almquist with goal number 13 makes it 4-3. Wilderness still in front, but I tell you what, it's a nail biter now. Crosby to Hanzawa across the Bruin blue line, and now Misak looks to regroup. 25 seconds remaining in the second period. Puck sent deep in the zone, and you got this crowd fired up now thanks to the fight as Carson Riddle, as that got over with, tried to get the crowd all riled up. Here's Jaden Shields toward the corner. Puck comes loose behind the net, swatted along the boards, and there's the buzzer. And the second period is over. Another tough second for the Wilderness. Last night they gave up 2. They give up 2 more here tonight. The only thing that's their saving grace right now is the fact they scored 4 in the first. But you can never sit on those leads, and the Bruins have stormed their way back and have made it a hockey game. 4-3 is the score as we go to the third. And we are going to have a conversation with Wilderness assistant coach Brennan Phelps in a moment for our STP segment. All that is coming up in a moment. This is Wilderness Hockey on Hockey TV.
How is everyone doing tonight? Wow. We have got a game. To everybody I saw leaving after the first period, bye. Because we got a game now. What a game we got. Bruiser. just told me bear talk by Felicia. I'm not sure what that means. I think it means see ya. All right. Hey, we have got the TV to give away tonight. We've got beer specials currently going on. 2 for 1 tap beers all night long. 5 beers for $10 and that bucket of beer over at the Brewers Beer Garden. You can get a raffle ticket, one for $5 or an arm's length for $20. And we're going to be announcing that winner at about the 10-minute mark of the third period. All right. It's time for Chuck the Puck. I hope we get some big winners tonight. Maybe beat some first beer for Papa Murphy. So when I see you go ahead, Chuck the Puck in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Hey, Bruiser, remember like 2 days ago when you won someone from the That was awesome. All right. Finish up the second box on 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's pick some winners here. I'm going to take the first puck tonight for Jimmy Johns is 118. 118. Echo Lane will be this guy right here. Puck number 119. What's the odds of that, Steve? 119 for Echo Lane. Steve Pizza is 3001. 3001. Piggy Blues Barbecue 426. 426. Hey, you know what? Just briefly, it's things like this that pop up in junior hockey that we don't prepare for. Right around a half hour before the game, we had 3 of our staff members that had to rush off as volunteer firefighters. So we're so very thankful for them and their service to the community. So thank you. Perkins 327. Perkins 327. B&J Bar Grill 112. 112, Pizza Ranch, puck number 89. 89, Home Federal is 224. 224. Austin Building Supply is 144. 144. Essential Credit Union is 286. 286, Kenny's Oak Grill is 411. 411. Great Clips, 8029. 8029 for Great Clips. Dairy Queen is puck number 45. Firestone, puck number 36. 36. Last but not least, Arby's is puck number 420. 420. All right. Nothing in the middle bucket, which means no winner. Pizza for a year from Papa Murphy's. All right. Wow. What a game so far, and I guarantee you we're going to have more sparks coming up in this third period. So stay with us. Grab those last-minute raffle tickets while you can down at the Chuck the Puck window. And beer specials. Bruce, you want a beer? No, sorry, you're working. Yeah. 2 beers, 1 beer. All right, we'll see you in a minute.
And that is not the theme song for Brendan Phelps, and not sure if he's going to make his way up here, as I'm sure they've got some important things to go over before going into this third period and see if the Wilderness can preserve this victory. That is the rouser for Bemidji State University, and the reason we play that is we're going to bring you an alumni report, as we're going to talk about one of the Wilderness players that I mentioned earlier that holds the record for most consecutive points. The 9-game point streak is Aaron Miller, and he is currently in his third season with Bemidji State.